Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1962 Olivetti Lettera 22 vintage ultra portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Made in Italy, one of the most iconic typewriters of all time. Won an award from the Institute of Technology in Chicago for the best technology of the past century, and that was around 1957. Up top are the margins. This is your left margin. I'm going to set that on 0 and the right one around 75. And these are your paper support arms that flip up from the back. This is the paper bale that sits on top. It's got 2 adjustable rollers and a scale. Once you hear the bell, you're near the end of the margin. Hit the line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, just flip that switch forward 1 notch. It skips 2. One more, it skips 3. We're going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line and switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side. Flip that down to the red indicator. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon, which is red. When you have it in the middle on the white indicator, it prints no ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it up top on the blue indicator, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. We're going to move that down for red. Beautiful. Very cushiony, springy keys, light touch, beautiful print. Pica typeface prints 10 characters per inch. And if you've used or have you seen the Olivetti Lettera 32, that's the upgrade to this, and that has a much lighter touch than this one does. Even when it's on really low touch, it's more springy and cushiony, so it's a much different feel than the 32. Different look, different mechanisms, pretty much all around. And you could watch some of my videos with 32 to see the differences. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side. Flip that forward. It unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. Going to flip these down for now and put the color back on black. Got a shift on each side and a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. This button, this blank button here that people might mistake for a 1 key, is your margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that button and it allows you to get past that type all the way to the end. Very good. This is your tab set and clear, and this is your tab button. This red button here is your tab button. Right now we have tabs set on 10 space intervals, so I'm just going to go through and clear each one of them. And this is the opposite when you're doing the tab set and clear with a 32. So it's up to clear and down to set on the Olivetti 32. It's the opposite. So now we shouldn't have any tabs, but I always like to set one somewhere in the middle so that way when you hit the tab button, it doesn't go slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. By just flipping that switch down, it sets it right there. And you can set as many tabs as you want on this model. Backspace on the right side, very smooth. And that's it for the keyboard. The top spool cover pops off from the front, hooks into the back. I guess it hooks into the front too. Oh, because there's spring. This hooks right in the spring, so when you pull it off, you want to pull it off from the front. You don't want to force the back because these hooks will break off. This is cast iron. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling clockwise to the right. If you want to switch that direction manually, the side you want it to go to, you just flip this ribbon guide to the middle, and it will, for either side, it'll swap that to that direction. And that's meant to catch the eyelet at the end of the ribbon, which is the little metal piece at the end. And it just catches on that and swaps it automatically to the side it needs to go to. And if you don't have an eyelet at the end of your ribbon, you can tie a knot and that should catch it. This is your touch control. You got 4 options here. The farther down you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. You do have to hit the keys harder for them to print, but they respond faster. This one already has a pretty springy touch, so I keep it on low. Now if you're dealing with a 32, then you might want to really crank up that touch because it's so touchy, you just make too many mistakes on that thing. And that might be one of the benefits of this machine over that one, is that if you prefer a more heavier touch than you'd go with a 22. Excellent machine. Okay, so this has the carriage locked on accident when I put the spool cover on. So that's your carriage lock. We'll get back to that. Carriage release, both sides. This rides on a rail, so it's a much different feel than most typewriters that have the bearings. Like the 32 has bearings. This one rides on a rail. This rail right here. So it's cool. I like it. I like the rail ride. Left carriage release. If you push the button on the left side, it disables the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You let it go, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space, and the same concept if you move the align space selector back to the 0, disables the spacing, move it to the 1, you get the clicks. And that's it. Oh, the carriage lock. So down to lock, up to unlock. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.